If you want to learn how to scrape anything from any website and share it anywhere you like, then in this video I will teach you exactly how to do that. You will learn to use this tool called Automa and make.com, and we'll be creating 3 projects in total. One to scrape Amazon, another one to scrape realtor.com, and the third one to scrape job posts from Upwork. And as a side note, I made this video way too long. I noticed that the video would be more than 3 or 4 hours long, which is not ideal. Which is why I'm splitting up the video in 3 parts. The first one to scrape Amazon, the second one to scrape realtor.com, and so on. So right now you'll watch the first part of the video. Right now I'm gonna talk about how to scrape any piece of data from any website and post it anywhere you like. For example, to scrape some Amazon deals every day and post it to a Facebook page, or to scrape some houses of a real estate website and send it to your LinkedIn profile, or to scrape some job posts and send it to your email every day. So yeah, pretty much what the title of the video says, and I think you get the idea. Okay, so to start off, we'll be mainly using 2 tools, which is Automa and make.com. And the video overview will be this. First, we'll look into the tools and see what they are, and then this is where the fun begins. I'm going to be teaching you step by step how to create an automation that lets you scrape Amazon deals and send it to a Facebook page. Then I'm going to show you how to scrape houses from realtor.com and send it to your LinkedIn profile. But with this project, we'll be using ChatGPT to create the copy for the LinkedIn post, and we're also going to be sending the scraped houses to Google Sheets to keep track of everything. Last but not least, we'll be scraping job posts from a freelance website. In this case, it's Upwork. For this, we'll scrape every job post that's relevant to us and send it to our email, and we'll also send it to Google Sheets to have like a little log. Okay, and the things you'll need are an Automa account, which is free, and a make.com account, which technically costs, but it has a very generous free plan. And we're also going to be needing an OpenAI API key, but this is optional, so it's not really necessary, but it does cost. Okay, so the first tool we'll be using is Automa, which is basically a Chrome extension that lets you completely automate your browser. This obviously includes to scrape anything from a website like a piece of text or an image, but it also includes filling out forms, clicking buttons, taking screenshots, and all of that good stuff. Later on in the video, when I teach you how to build the step-by-step automations, I'll show you how to use Automa for beginners, so don't worry about that. But regarding pricing, it's completely free, and this is because Automa runs directly on your computer and not in the cloud. But this also means that for Automa to be running, your PC needs to be turned on. So for example, if you have an Automa workflow that runs every hour, your PC would also need to be turned on every hour, which is basically your PC turned on 24/7. I know this sucks a lot, but this is where a virtual private server comes in, which is a VPS. A VPS is basically like a computer you can rent on the cloud, and the price of a VPS ranges from $5 to $15 per month. So we could say that the price of Automa is also $5 to $15 per month. And the other good thing about using a VPS is that apart from hosting Automa on it, you can also host a piece of your code or a program you wrote, which is pretty cool. And if you're into this kind of stuff, then a VPS would be highly helpful. So if you think like that, then just comment about it, and if it gets enough attention, I'll make a video about it. Okay, but enough of that. To download Automa, you just go to this link and then click on Get for Chrome. And we're leaving all of the links I talk about in the description below. Okay, and the next tool we'll be using is make.com. Most of you probably already know what make.com is, but it's basically like Zapier, so it lets you connect pretty much any app together and automate the processes between them. So this is a great example here in the make.com website. So this is what a workflow looks like inside make.com. So presuming this is for a Facebook lead ads campaign, it means that whenever a lead fills out an ad with their name and email, so that piece of data gets sent to this block over here that notifies the team that a new lead has signed up. Then it will also create a new record, which presumably will be for a CRM, and then it will also send that information to an email to let the team know they have a new lead and with all the leads information inside it. So yeah, it's a pretty cool tool, and we'll be using make.com to receive the data we scraped and send it virtually anywhere, which in this case is Facebook, LinkedIn, and Gmail. Okay, but enough of that. Now let's actually talk about the first automation that we'll do, which is the Amazon deal scraper to Facebook page. And this will also serve as a beginner tutorial for Automa because it's a very simple automation. So what will happen here is we'll scrape Amazon deals from the electronic deals page of Amazon. And of course, we'll scrape all of the data with Automa. And then we'll send that data to make.com, and then we'll use make.com to create a Facebook post with the actual Amazon deal. So the Facebook post would basically have the product title, the discount price, the original price, and so on. Okay, so now I'm in Automa and I'm going to do a little overview of everything here. So first of all, we're in the workflows tab. All of your workflows that you create will be stored here. So you can just click them and then it'll appear right here. So yeah, this section is pretty straightforward. It's just where all of your projects are. Then for packages, in this video, you don't need to worry about this because we won't be using it and it's a bit more advanced. And in the next section here, we have the scheduled workflows, which is just a list of all of your projects that are scheduled. For example, for this one, I have it scheduled at 9 AM every day, so that's why it's here. But after that, we have storage, which is super important. So basically all of the data that you scrape will be stored somewhere. And in this case, it'll be in Automa storage. So all of these tables are where my scraping data is stored. For example, this table is called quotes, and this is from a past scraping automation that I did, in which I scraped a bunch of quotes from a website. So if I click on it, you can see all of the quotes and the quote author, basically all of the data that was scraped. Then after that, we have the logs section, which is, you know, the simple logs to check what went wrong, what went right, and all of that. And last but not least, we have the settings, which is pretty straightforward. It's where you can change your theme, back up your data, and all of that nitty-gritty stuff. Okay, and that's the Automa overview. So now let's actually create a new workflow. So to do that, you just need to click on new workflow and that's it. In my case, I already created mine, which is in this folder, and it's called Amazon FB finished. So this is what we'll be creating right now. And I'm just gonna run it real quick so you can see what it actually does. Okay, so let's run this real quick right now. And as you can see, it opened the Amazon page. Now it's going to the product, which is the Blink Outdoor 4 4th Gen. And I think it's finished right now, and apparently nothing happened, but let's actually check our storage and see what's inside it. Our table is called YouTube, Amazon, Facebook, and yep, as you can see, the product title and all of the data is right here. And I'm gonna pull up the Amazon page again to see the comparison. And yep, Blink Outdoor 4 4th Gen, that's correct. The product image, let's copy it and paste it into the browser to see what image it actually is. And yep, is the product image from the Amazon. Now let's check the original price, which is $459, and that's correct, $459. Then the deal price is $231.99, and yep, the deal price is $231.99. And the discount percentage, I know it came with a little bit of fluff, but don't worry about it. We'll filter all of the data next when we are in the make.com step. But essentially 49% and 49%, which is, or 49%, which is correct. All right, so now let's create all of this from scratch so you can learn how to do it. So all of the workflows start from a trigger. So I'm just gonna disconnect this trigger from this flow, and I'm gonna drag it right here so we can create one from scratch. Okay, so let's think right now. What's the first step we do when we go to Amazon? We open a new tab, right? Or open a new window. In this case, I'm gonna open a new window so it looks more organized. So right here, I'm gonna search the new window block. By the way, all of these blocks are so you can interact with the website. For example, we have a click element block, which clicks an element, get a text block, which gets some text data, and so on. But anyways, let's search for the window. And as you can see, it says new window. Okay, so let's connect this block with the trigger. And right here, when you double click it, all of these options will appear. In this case, in the description, you can describe it however you want to, but in this case, I'm gonna describe it accordingly. So I'm gonna write open Amazon. And then in the URL, well, of course, you need to put in the Amazon deals URL. And I think it's in today's deals. And let's just filter by electronic. So I think, oh, here it's electronics, and yep, the Blink Outdoor is right here. So now just copy this link and paste it back into Automa, and you can leave all of these options as it is because they don't matter. Okay, so now you click on save, and let's actually close this tab first, and now let's run this workflow to see what it does. So I execute it, and boom, it opened a new tab, specifically in the Amazon URL. So far so good. In this case, the first product that appears, which is this one. So we click it and that's it. Okay, so now let's replicate that step inside Automa. So let's go to our block section and search for the click block or click element. And here's the click element block. And remember that to go to its settings, you have to double click the block. In this one, I'm gonna describe it as open product. Simple description, you know, so we don't get lost. And then we have all of these options. We have CSS selector, select an element. Okay, this looks a bit complicated, but trust me, it's not. First of all, you see this select an element button. just click on it, and oh, as you can see, it opened my other tabs, so we don't want that. So to avoid that, just drag your window on top of Automa and then click on the select an element button, and that's it. As you can see, the UI basically changed, and wherever you hover it gets this little orange square. So this block is the element that will be clicked. In this case, let's select the Blink Outdoor 4 battery extension pack text. Okay, so once you click it, you just need to click on select an element and it'll automatically paste it into the CSS selector here. And yep, that would be it. That's how you click on an object in Automa. But this is a pro tip. Whenever you're interacting with a website, like clicking it or basically any form of interaction with the site, you always need to select the wait for selector option, always. Okay, so let's save this and now let's execute it again to see what it does. Okay, so it opens the Amazon page and it should click the product and boom, it clicked the product. So far it's working perfectly. And now that we're actually in the product section, this is where we need to scrape everything. So the product title, the price, the image, and all of that. So to do that, again, it's pretty simple. Let's go back to our block section and search for get text, because let's say we want to scrape the title first, and the title is some text, right? So let's select get text and connect it right here. Okay, so now let's describe this new get text block, which is get title, and again open the website you're scraping on top of Automa and then click on select an element. Now let's select the title, which is neatly highlighted here, and select element. Boom, that's it. After that, remember to always enable wait for selector. So you might think that would be it, but now we actually need to store that data we scraped somewhere, which is where the storage and tables come in. So I'm gonna delete my table real quick so you can see how to create one from scratch and how to connect it with your workflow. Okay, so I just deleted the table, and as you can see, we don't even have a table, so nothing appears. Okay, so to create a table, we go to storage and then add table. In this case, I'm gonna name mine YouTube Amazon FB, and in columns is all of the data that we'll scrape. So first and last but not least, we have the image. So let's just do image, and it's not an actual image, it's the URL. So image URL, and then let's click on save. And if we double click on it, we can see that we don't have any data because we haven't scraped it yet. But now in the workflows tab, let's go back to our get text block. And if we see in the drop down, nothing appears yet because we have to connect the table first to this flow. So to do that, just go on the top right and click where it says table and connect to a storage table. And here just select the table that you just created. In this case, it was YouTube Amazon FB. Just click it and that's it. It's already connected. And now if we go back to the drop down, you can see all of the columns that we created. So since this is the get title block, let's select title and that's it. Now let's click on save and let's run our workflow again. Okay, so it's in the Amazon page. It's in the product page now. And right now it should be scraping the title. So whenever this bubble disappears, it means that it finished. Let's actually click on the log so you can see, yes, a few seconds ago and it was success. Okay, so good. And let's go to storage in our table and boom, you can see the title that we just scraped is right here. Okay, so everything's working great, and let's go back to our workflows and continue with the next piece of data, which is the original price. So we can basically just copy this and connect it right here. And then let's describe this as get OG price. And again, pull up your window on top of Automa and then click on select an element. And now let's select the original price, which is here. Sometimes this select element button won't appear. I'm really not sure why, but in that case, you can just manually copy it and paste it, which does the same thing. Okay, and then switch the title column to the original price column, and that's it. Now let's repeat this step for the discount price. Again, pull up your table, or I mean your window, and select the discount price. This one, 231. See, the select element button disappeared. So in that case, just manually copy it and paste it. And then of course, change this column to the column that you wanted, which is discount price. Yeah, then we need to do the percentage. So again, repeat all of the steps. Let's describe it as get discount percentage. Let's pull up the Amazon page again and click on select. Oh, see, it appeared out of nowhere. I don't know why. This is the only weird thing about Automa, but apart from that, everything works amazingly, and this is just a minor issue. And then let's select the percentage, which is here. I know that it selects a lot of data, not just a percentage type. You know, we can filter this data with AI or, you know, with some text parsers later down the road, so let's just not worry about this. And now let's click on select an element and change the column to discount percentage, and that's it. Now let's click on save and let's run this one. Actually, let's close this window first, and now let's execute it to see what it does. Okay, so it goes to the Amazon, it goes to the product page, and let's click on the logs. Oh, it already finished. Okay, so let's check our storage and YouTube, Amazon FB, and boom. By the way, this one is the previous one that we scraped. This one is the most recent one, as you can see. The title, the original price, the discount price, and the discount percentage is all here. And you know, the image URL, we haven't scraped it yet, but this was just so you can see that it's working. So far so good. Okay, so let's go back to the workflow, and now let's scrape the image. So it's this image right here. And to do that, we don't want to use a get text block because an image is not a text. I know it's the URL of an image, but it's like we can't really see the image URL. So this is why we need to use another type of block. In this case, it's the get attributes block. So I'm just going to search for it, or attribute value. So this block just extracts an attribute value from an element. So let's describe it as get image. Remember that you need to click on wait for selector always. And then as always, you need to bring this Amazon window on top of Automa and then click on select an element. Then sometimes this also happens, the selector thing doesn't appear. In this case, you just need to click on the eye icon here so you can see where the selector is. And then let's just click on the image here. And remember, I mentioned that sometimes the get element button disappears, so this is the case. In that case, you know what to do. Just copy it and manually paste it back into Automa. Okay, and once that's done, in the get attribute value, attribute name section, you need to type in SRC. It should be looking for an SRC type of data, which is essentially an image type of data. And then as always, select your column, which is image URL. And now let's save this and run it real quick. So it's opening the Amazon page, it went to the product section, and now it's scraping everything, and I think it's done. So let's go back to the storage. Okay, so as you can see, the title is scraped, the original price is scraped, the discount price is scraped, and so is the discount percentage. And of course, the image URL is scraped as well. So let's copy the URL and paste it into our browser to see what it actually shows. And boom, it shows the Blink Outdoor Pack. Okay, so now we're basically finished building this Automa workflow that scrapes the product title, the discount percentage, the original price, the discount price, and the image. So now that we're finished with building this, we can go on with the next step, which is to send this data to make.com so we can actually do whatever we want to do with this data. Okay, so now I'm inside make.com. So what we're going to do right now is create a new scenario. In this case, I already have my own scenario, so I'm just going to click here. And as you can see, it's empty, so it's basically a new scenario. And right here, you want to add a webhook, because we're going to be connecting Automa with make.com with a webhook. So yes, click on webhook here and select custom webhook. Now just add a new webhook and name it whatever you want, Amazon 1. And then click on save, and as you can see, it created this URL. So copy this URL address to your clipboard, and let's go back to Automa. So right here you need to add a new block, and this block is called HTTP request. So go inside the HTTP request block, and let's describe it real quick. So let's just name it send to make, and in the request method leave it as post, and in the link section just paste the link that make.com provided for us. And the last important bit of this step is to go to the body section, and here's where you need to specify what data you want to send. In this case, we just want to send the whole table because it contains the title, the price, and all of that. So open your keys and let's just name it data and specify that it's a table. And we don't need to type the actual name of the table because the only table that's connected to this workflow is the Amazon FB one. So just say table and that's it. Okay, so now click on X and click on save. So in make.com, so save your make.com scenario and let's click on run one. So this is like a test run so we can see if it's working. And right now I'm actually gonna split my views. Okay, so right now it's running and right now it's waiting for a signal. So let's run this workflow here and let's let it do its job. Okay, so now it's in the product Amazon page and it should, and boom, as you can see, it happened really quick. Let's check what data it arrived with, and boom, as you can see, all of this data is the exact data that we had from Automa. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 bundles of data, and if we go back to Automa and onto our storage, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 bundles of data as well. And all of the data is correct. So yeah, that's basically how you can send data from Automa to make.com. But I think you can see a pretty small issue here, or a pretty big issue here, is that we don't want to send all of the data that's in the table, right? We only want to get the most recent scraping run. And the solution for that is pretty simple. Just go back to your Automa workflow, and after the trigger, or before all of the scraping happens, you need to add a delete data block. So connect the delete data block after the trigger and before all of the actions happen. And inside the delete data block, just click on add, and this is where you specify what data we'll be deleting. So the table, of course, we want to delete the table, and we want to delete all columns as well. So before every run, it will delete all of the data. So let's say it ran once and now there's some data in the table, okay? And if you run it again, it'll delete that data first and then run the whole thing. So essentially you'll get new pieces of data every run, which is exactly what we want. So now let's click on save and let's test all of this again. So let's save this as well and run once and execute this. So now it's running and it should be finished in about 3, 2, 1. Oh, okay, so that's a nice predict. And see, only one bundle of data, which is the most recent one. So let's go back to Automa and check if that's correct. And yep, the data is the same. So yeah, now it's successfully working. Okay, so now that we have all of the data we need in make.com, now we can do whatever we want with it. So in this case, remember that we were going to post it to Facebook, specifically to a Facebook page. So to do that, just add another module and search for Facebook. You just need to click on Facebook pages and create a post. No, actually create a post with photos. And here you need to connect your Facebook account, which is pretty simple. You just click on add, then name your connection and click on save. And then it'll prompt you to actually log into your Facebook account. And once you've done that, you just need to select the page where you'll be posting. In this case, I'm gonna select my tester page. And now we need to select the photo that we'll be posting. So click on add item under photos, and instead of selecting upload a photo, we need to select download photo from URL. And here where it says URL, just click on it, and here's where you can map the data that we scraped from Automa. So just map the image URL here, and for the caption, let's just leave it empty for this case. And here where it says message, this is where the actual text of the post will be. So I'm gonna create like a little post announcing a new Amazon deal product. So let's just type in new deal, and then let's map in the title, and then a new line where it says the original price, and map in the original price, and then a line where it says limited discount price, and let's map in the discount price, and a new line that says save up to and the percentage. I think this is enough. So after that, just click on OK and click on save. Okay, so right now I'm in my tester page, in my Facebook tester page, but anyways, let's go back to make.com and let's actually turn it on so you can see how it runs like automatically. So it's on. Now we need to save this and let's go to Automa and to our workflows. So yeah, let's just save just in case and run this automation or scraping automation. Okay, so it's scraping this the product. In the background, make.com is already running, but we don't need to click on run once because it's already on. And now let's just refresh the page real quick. And boom, just now, new deal, Blink Outdoor 4, blah, 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 original price, $299, $299, limited discount price 139.99, save up to 160, 53%, and the image right here. Okay, so as you can see, it worked almost perfectly apart from this original price thing and discount percentage thing. So remember that I told you that we're going to be cleaning this data. So that's exactly what we're going to do. In this case, we just need to clean this original price and discount percentage, and that's it. So to do that, let's just disconnect these modules and add a text parser module. Text parser, and specifically the one that says replace. So what this text parser does is it parses text. So for example, in the original price right here, there's two prices and we only need one. So in the text parser, we can specify to delete everything after the second $sign and also the $sign. So we're gonna do that right now. Okay, and once you're inside the text parser replace module, let's start from bottom to top. So in the text section, you just need to map in the piece of data that we want to parse, which is the original price, because we want to only include the first price and not the second price. So map the original price, and where it says pattern and new value, you actually need to put in some code, and this code is called a regular expression. So to get this regular expression codes, let's use the help of ChatGPT. Okay, so right now we're in ChatGPT, and I want to send this prompt right here, in which I specify that I'm using make.com to parse some text. I'm using the text parser module, and that I want to change these two prices to only show the first price, and then the specific instructions to remove everything after the second $sign and also delete the second $sign. And now let's just send this prompt to ChatGPT. Okay, so it finished giving us a response, and in the search pattern here you can see that it gave us this code. So let's copy this code and go back to make.com and paste the pattern into the pattern section right here. And where it says new value, let's see what it told us to put in. If it doesn't say new value, it's also called replacement text, so it tells us to leave this field empty. Okay, so let's just leave it empty here, then click on OK, and now let's test if it actually works. Run once, run anyway, and execute. So it's executing the Amazon scraper. Okay, so it finished, and let's check the data. Okay, so this is the input, the original one, and this is the output. So it's not quite working as expected. As you can see, it says null. It pretty much did the job, but it also added this null. I'm not sure why. So let's go back to ChatGPT and let's tell it that it added a null. Kinda works, but it also added a null. So it gave me this. And let's just copy the code. Remember that you can chat with ChatGPT as a human, so you can also tell it that it didn't work and it'll give you another solution. Okay, so I think the pattern is the same. Oh, but in the replacement text, it tells us to use an empty string. Okay, I think that was the issue because we didn't put anything here, and we actually need to put like an empty string, which is, I think it's this one, empty string, yeah. So this is actually like 0. Okay, so nothing. So yeah, let's put in this empty string and let's try it again. So save anyway, and let's run once. Okay, so it's running, and let's let it execute. Okay, so it's finished. Let's see, and boom, as you can see, we only have the first value, which is awesome. So we already did the original price, and now let's do the discount percentage. Yeah, we can clone it, and here instead of the original price, let's map the discount percentage. And now let's give it ChatGPT some new instructions. So I want to change this to this, and we only need the percentage without the parentheses. So let's just see what ChatGPT has to say. Okay, so the search pattern is this one, so let's just copy it straight away. Go to the text parser in the pattern, paste it here, and in the new value, let's see what it says. Okay, new value can also be replacement text, so it says to add a $1. So let's do exactly that, and add the $1. Now let's run once, run anyway, and execute it again to see what happens now. Okay, so the webhook finished. This one is as good as always, and let's check this one. So boom, not exactly as we want it to be, but it's a good start. Okay, let's just tell ChatGPT that it didn't give us the exact result we were looking for. Let's just send this prompt again to ChatGPT and let's see what it says. Let's just copy this pattern and let's hope this works because my plan is complete. Run once, run anyway, and execute. Okay, the first one, good as always. The second one, boom, 53%. So it worked. Thank you, ChatGPT. Okay, so now that we have the data that was dirty, now we have it cleaned up. So let's connect everything now. And inside the Facebook pages, these past tags, because of course we don't want the dirty piece of data. So now let's select from the text parser tag. So the original price, let's select this text parser one, and for limited, no, save up to, and 53% from the text parser. So the data should be clean now, and let's click on OK. So now this is the actual test. Okay, so the make.com scenario is already on, so it'll run automatically, and let's execute. So it's a scraping, and now maybe it already finished and now it's in make.com. Okay, so let's just refresh it right now. Yeah, so now there's two. This one was the previous one 30 minutes ago, and this is the new one. So boom, as you can see, original price, clean data, and save up to clean data. Okay, so now we're finished building this. So let's just do a quick overview of what we did. Okay, first in Automa, we trigger the workflow, then we delete anything that's inside the table so we get new sets of data every run. Then we open a new window, which is an Amazon deals page. Then we open a product by clicking on the first element. Then we extract the text, scrape the discount percentage, scrape the price, scrape the discount price, scrape the image URL. And then once we have all of the data scraped, stored in our table, then we send that table, which has all of the data, to a webhook. And then this webhook comes into make.com. Make.com receives this data. All of the data is right here. And then since some of the data is a bit cluttered, then we declutter it, we clean it, and then we post it to a Facebook page like we did right now. So that's this first scraping automation completely finished. I'm sure you learned a ton about Automa and make.com as well. So yeah, that was this first one, which was to scrape Amazon deals and send it to a Facebook page. So yeah, this was a tutorial to scrape Amazon deals and send them to a Facebook page, which was the first part of the 3-part series. And part 2 to scrape houses from realtor.com and send them to LinkedIn. And part 3 to scrape job posts from Upwork and send them to your email should be uploaded real soon. And one last thing I want to mention is that I recently launched my school community called No Code AI Automators. And this is the place where I will upload all of the automation templates that I create in this video and all of my other videos. And apart from that, we'll also do weekly calls to talk about the tech stuff, the new tools, talk about our projects, give some feedback, and about AI and automation and business in general. And of course, this will also be the place to connect with other like-minded people and myself as well. You can create a post, ask questions, and everything will be answered by the community or myself. And right now, everything that I mentioned is just $17 for the first 5 people that join, and then it'll increase to $37. And right now, there's literally no one in there. So if you're watching this early, then you could be one of the first 5. And honestly, I think this is way better than individually charging $30 per template or $100 per call, because now everything will get grouped up into one package, which is the whole community. And you can cancel anytime, so no pressure. So yeah, I'd love to see you in the community, and I hope you have a great day. Bye bye.